Do you want your kids to help around the house in a certain way, at a certain time, or in a specific manner? There really is only one way that you have any chance of making that happen. Hey, I'm Tammy, and on this channel, I help stay-at-home moms get organized, but more importantly, stay organized. Grab your coffee and let's chat. Two goals by the end of this video is to have an understanding of why you want to set clear expectations and walk away with at least one method that you're going to try of how to clearly set those expectations for your kids. Instead of trying to figure out what our kids are thinking, we're going to put ourselves in the shoes of our kids, but in an adult way, in a parent way, if you will. What if you got a job and you went to that job and your boss has you starting on the very first day of work, and he or she says to you, all right, anybody that walks through that door, you have to help them. And then they walk away and you're like, okay, I have to help people as they walk in the door. So then at the end of the day, that boss comes back and says to you, well, you haven't helped enough people. What's your problem? You'd feel pretty frustrated, wouldn't you? I kind of imagine this is how my kids feel sometimes when I give them directions. Do the dishes. Well, okay, that leaves it pretty open-ended, right? So if that's you and you kind of leave those open-ended instructions for your kids, put a yes in the comments below. We start our day over, your boss comes to you and he or she says, when people come in, you have to help them. And you should help at least 10 people today. And then your boss walks away and you're like, all right, I'm set. I need to help 10 people today. At the end of the day, you're like super pumped, you're super excited because you've helped 12 people today. But your boss comes back and says, well, good job, you helped 12 people, but you didn't do it right. Oh, well, you would be pretty ticked. We start the day again. Your boss says to you, when people come in, you have to help them fill out this application in its entirety. Every blank should be filled in with their information, and you need to help 10 people complete this application today. You're all set. You are excited. Your boss walks away. You know exactly what you need to do. You get to the end of the day. You've got 10 applications completely filled out, ready to give to your boss. And your boss comes back and says, well, this still isn't right. You've started the day over again. Your boss comes to you and says, when people come in, you have to help them fill out this application in its entirety. Every single blank should be filled out with their information, and they have to fill it out with blue ink. Once the application is completed, you should immediately deliver it to Betty via a sealed white envelope, and when you hand it to her, the flap has to be facing upward. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you get the gist of what I'm saying? How you have to be clear on your expectations. If you translate this to telling the kids to do the dishes, if you say, all right, I want you to do the dishes before I get home, what are you going to end up with? What if you say, I want you to do the dishes by 2 p.m. They have to be done by 2 p.m. All of the dishes that don't fit in the dishwasher have to be hand washed. They can be sitting there drying, but they have to be hand washed. When you load the dishwasher, you need to make sure that everything is stacked in such a manner, the plates have to be stacked this way, the forks are pointing up, the knives are pointing down. So do you get what I'm saying on how you have to be clear on the expectations that you are setting for your kids? So next, how to set clear expectations. There are a few things, no matter what method of delivery you utilize for the kids to know what they need to do and what you expect of them, there are a few things that you really need to do to really be sure of yourself. So number one, figure out specifically what you expect in the way of results and why. If we go back to the dishwashing example, what are you expecting? Maybe they need to hand wash all of them and hand dry all of them and put them away. Maybe that's what doing the dishes means to you. But once you know what the results are you're after, basically a clear counter, right? If you tell them to do the dishes and you're after a clear counter, that's the result. You can kind of do the next thing and back into what the tasks are that are required to achieve those results. So load the dishwasher, unload the dishwasher, hand wash the dishes, dry the dishes, put the dishes away. Those are all action items that need to be done. And then you can take it one step further back and really break it into the tiny little tactics that the kids can handle, you know, depending upon the ages of your kids. But if they're school age kids, doing the dishes should be something that they can handle. So now that you are ready to actually deliver those expected tactics or action items, it kind of really depends on what your preference is and what's going to work best for you as far as the delivery method. So what I've done in the past is, this was maybe last year, I had everything, I still have it typed up into a Google Sheet. And I thought, well, the kids love to be at the computer. They'll love to sit down, click the little box when they've completed the chore. But that really turned into a nightmare, because what happened is they wanted to sit at the computer, they wanted to color code the boxes, play with the fonts, just really kind of play with the spreadsheet instead of checking the box and moving on to the next item. And it really became a fight between the kids. So that was extremely unproductive. So I had to switch it up. Instead, I printed the sheets off. So number one option is digitally. Number two option is printing a hard copy of that digital file. That worked for a while, but the kids ended up taking that and adding items to it, and they wanted to reword it, and it just became this big mess. And then every week when I would print a new sheet for them, they would go through this same activity of writing all over the sheet. So I'm like, well, that's not working. So honestly, where I'm at right now, I have a handwritten hash sheet of piece of paper for each of them on what their areas of responsibility are for. We're actually going monthly right now, what their area of responsibility is for the month and what each of those finite little tactics are that they need to do. So the second thing I wanted you to walk away with was one method of how you will try to set those expectations for your kids. And I want to know in the comments below which one you are going to try. Is it digitally, printed, handwritten, or is it something else altogether? I would love to know, which one are you going to start with? Setting clear expectations is just one thing you can do to get your kids to help more around the house. Go check out this video for 2 more ideas. Don't forget to subscribe to get new videos every Wednesday morning. Thanks for watching, you guys, and have a wonderful day.